My name is Brendan O'Neill, and I'm the graduate director for the School of Archaeology in UCD. For this talk today, I'm going to be going over some of our master's programs. I'll talk a bit about the structure that allows you to kind of have one stream within a particular subject, but also to dip in and out of other master's programs as you go through that. And then after that as well, we're going to talk to Ashley Brown, one of our current students, who can just speak to her experience of applying for and then her experience on the program so far. And then, as I said, any questions at the end, we'll be happy to answer them. So, my pleasure to introduce master's programs for the School of Archaeology. We've got a number of them, both online and on campus, full-time and part-time, across a number of different subjects. And the School of Archaeology is Ireland's leading archaeological teaching and research institute, and also within the top 100 of the World University Subject rankings as well. And our faculty run research projects both nationally and internationally, working on a range of different periods and materials from the Mesolithic right way up to the modern day. Just wanted to provide a little bit of kind of background on our structures within the program, sorry, and kind of talk a little bit about how it would work once you're here in UCD. So our structures are aligned structures, so all of the programs share very similar kind of format, and it's broken down like you can see here in this slide. We have 3 trimesters within the programs, and so that would be your autumn trimester, your spring trimester, and then into your summer trimester. So starting September, ending August. So it's a roughly 12-month program. In the first trimester, this is in many ways you're getting to know the subject that you've decided to do a master's in. So it would be a little bit about the background of the subject, a little bit about the kind of theory and methods kind of associated with it as well. In every trimester, you need to earn 30 credits, and so 2 of your 20 of your 30 credits are through your core modules, and they'll be program specific. So they might be on hunter-gatherers, or they might be on archaeological techniques, or they might be on some experimental archaeology. It very much depends on the program that you decided to do, and that takes up 20 of your 30 credits. And then you have optional modules then that you can take, and you can see a couple of the indicative ones there. This makes up the other 10 credits within the trimester. And although there are other subjects you can do around that, essentially the option modules or the core modules for one program are the options for the others. And so this allows you to dip in and out into the programs. If you're taking the hunter-gatherer program, you can also take a module in land and landscape, or alternatively in experimental archaeology, or in world heritage for that matter. And so it allows you to kind of dip in now, which is a great way for you to add a richness into your programs, and as well for you to not have to make hard decisions about doing one over another. In your second trimester, it's a very similar structure. You can see here you've got your core modules, and then your options again. Again, it's a 30 credits to be obtained there. If you're doing a graduate diploma, which some people will be doing, so that's a very similar program to the MSc, to a Master of Science, but just doesn't have a dissertation phase. It doesn't have a third trimester dissertation. And if you're doing graduate diploma, your program will end at the end of the second trimester with the award of 60 credits. If you're staying in the MSc program, then you go on to do a dissertation. And again, this is another 30 credits. And by the time you do a dissertation, you're not just thrown into the deep end. And this is an it's a research project designed by you, run by you, delivered by you. And it's over a 3-month period. And you can select really any kind of material or archaeological question. But it's not entirely left on your shoulders to build that project. And instead, we have a dissertation module that runs over 2 trimesters, spring and summer, which allows you to work with academic staff to develop ideas, develop structures and approaches, and then also to get feedback on different ideas that you might have on different kind of problems that might emerge within that. So by the time you actually get your dissertation, you have a well-tested idea to enact with your supervisor over in 3 months. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some of the programs a bit more specifically. So that's the general structure. Now we're going to the specific programs. So this is our MSc or graduate diploma in experimental archaeology, or sorry, in archaeology. Again, the MSc program being 90 credits over 3 trimesters, and the graduate diploma being 60 credits over 2 trimesters. This program is really a deep dive into all of archaeology. So it's archaeological method. What do we as archaeologists do, both in terms of surveying a site, understanding it, excavation practices, and into material culture as well when we get it out of the ground. What are the practical things that we do, but also how do we think about these things? How do we ultimately interpret the archaeological world around us? And what we see up here in the top corner of this slide are various different program structures. So like I said, you can do an MSc full-time, an MSc part-time, graduate diploma full-time, graduate diploma part-time as well. Just to note that non-EU students can only do full-time programs due to immigration restrictions. So, like I said, kind of within this program, there are various different aspects of it. You'll see the program leaflet here. It contains different information about the types of core modules that you have in this, the specific core modules that you have, and as well the options in there. Just to spend a tiny minute on the core modules for this, because it really gives you a sense of what this program is doing. We have land and landscape, which is very much the kind of, it's in the name, it's very much a landscape view of archaeology. Archaeological field methods, which is where you'll be trained how to develop some of your core archaeological skills. And then material culture as well, which is a shared core across all of our archaeology programs. And the MSc in Archaeology basically continues a decades-long tradition within the School of Archaeology of an MA or MSc in Archaeology, where literally hundreds of people have come through this program and gone into various different roles in archaeology and state agencies, both inside Ireland and outside Ireland, and a diverse range of kind of job opportunities from this master's. Following up, the next program is the MSc or Graduate Diploma in Experimental Archaeology and Material Culture. Again, it's very similarly structured to the archaeology program, in that you have full-time and part-time, both MSc and Graduate Diploma. The MSc or a program in experimental archaeology and material culture is effectively a hard look at material culture. Imagine the something's excavated from a site. We excavate a pot from the site, we get it, and then what do we do? And that's what this program effectively asks and trains students in. And so we start with kind of cataloging, documenting, into analysis, and then into thinking about how we can understand it. This program varies a little bit from other programs in material culture, in that it fuses experimental archaeology on top as one of its fundamental components. That this is another way, another data set to bring into our understanding of material culture. Here again, we can see on the program flyer various different bits of information related to it. Again, just spend a minute on the cores. We see the material culture core there, a standard, but on top of that, we also have practical experimental archaeology and experimental archaeology making, understanding, storytelling. They're two of the key cores specific to this program, and they respectively teach about the kind of background to experimental archaeology and what it does, and then kind of puts that into practice in the second trimester. And the programs in experimental archaeology and material culture are directly linked into the Center for Experimental Archaeology and Material Culture, a UCD academic center and a world leader in the subject of experimental archaeology. Another one of our exciting programs is our programs are MSc and graduate in World Heritage Management and Conservation. This is essentially a multidisciplinary master's course intended for those who want to learn the skills to develop careers as managers in world cultural and or heritage sites. And again, it's structured very similar to the other programs. You can see up here the different Master of Science and Graduate Diploma versions that you can take through this. Again, going into the program flyer, we have those core modules. Again, nature, culture, our bridge to heritage sustainability, heritage management challenges, and conflict resolution. And this program is very linked into UNESCO World Heritage kind of initiatives, and also the structures of UNESCO World Heritage, including tentative lists and various other parts. It's also very linked in nationally and internationally with different initiatives to both establish and bring through sites onto the World Heritage List, and to train managers on how to do that. And uniquely, this program fuses both cultural heritage and natural heritage into one. So something that really we don't see in other programs outside of this, and very much a unique way of approaching the problems that are faced in both of them camps. And one of our other archaeology programs is MSc Graduate Diploma in Hunter-Gatherer Archaeology, and this is one of our newer programs, looking specifically at hunter-gatherer archaeology from a number of different perspectives, both in terms of practically through excavations that are linked to the program in Scotland, and as well through various different database resources, and as well through anthropological kind of research on it, taking a different view of hunter-gatherers than the kind of traditional way of approaching. And then also linked to our other World Heritage Masters program, we have a 3-year part-time online World Heritage Conservation program, which again has a very similar kind of background and content. and you can see through the flyer here, it's specifically aimed at people who are maybe working within fields who can't take the time out to come and do an on-campus master's program, and so they're doing it part-time over a longer period, but online as well, so they can commit both to the work and to the program. And then kind of finally, we have a graduate certificate program in experimental archaeology and material culture. Again, this is an online program, and it's very much aimed at people who can't bring themselves to Ireland to take on one of the other programs, and as well maybe are you know, professionals who can't leave a job or can't travel. And in this program, we tend to get people from right away across the world, from the States and from South Central America and across into Australia and various other places in between. And it really is a place to learn them initial stages of experimental archaeology, where you take 3 modules, 1 module per trimester over the course of a year. So it's a nice way to begin to understand what experimental archaeology is and how you might progress through it. Just finally for me, when you're going through the various pages for the School of Archaeology, you'll also see funding and support links there. So for various different funds that will be applicable to varying extents for people coming from different backgrounds. So it's worth going in there to see what kind of supports are available to any candidates as well. I think now Ashley is going to talk for a couple of minutes just about her experience with the program more generally.
Yeah, my name is Ashley. I'm a master's student here at UCD. I chose the experimental archaeology and material culture with Brendan and Anita. I chose UCD because I had just completed an online diploma for 2 years with Galway University, and UCD was offering a higher diploma. So that's the time. It was really good at the time. My youngest child was going to school, and I decided, yeah, this is time for me to go back into archaeology. And from there, I was encouraged to do the master's program. The support and encouragement that I've received here at UCD has just been incredible. Coming back to education after a long time was really daunting. But everybody here, the academic staff and the administration staff, they recognised very quickly that I was felt a bit out of my depth. And they were very, very supportive, and any help that they could do, they were really willing to do it. So I would encourage any student or anybody thinking about joining UCD to avail of the support here on campus, because it's really, really incredible. So in terms of my experience here, has been absolutely wonderful. The experimental archaeology is, I'm not going to be biased towards it, but it's amazing. It's a great program. But I've done a lot of modules in the higher diploma as well. So a lot of them are great. The hunter-gatherer is brilliant with Graham, Warren, and the landscape is brilliant. There's a lot of great modules here on campus. Everybody is treated with a lot of respect and dignity, which is really what I noticed straight away here. They're very encouraging and supportive. And I, as a mother of 4 myself, I will be certainly encouraging my children to study here at UCD, because I know they've been well looked after, as I have been since day one here. So that's all. If anybody has any questions about anything else, I'd be happy to answer them if I can. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ashley. That was really useful. And can you elaborate as to what you're going to do next in your career?
I'm not really sure at the moment, but I am thriving outdoors. So I think that's probably where my passion is. I'm really interested in the Neolithic era, passage tombs, megalithic tombs and art. So I'd really like to focus on that and maybe do some research. I'd love to do some research here with UCD for that. So hopefully that would be the aim going forward. But I'm quite happy doing anything in archaeology, really. So thank you.
Thanks very much, Ashley. So
Thanks, Emma.
thanks. So we just have time for just a couple of questions. If you have any, just do post them in the Q&A, and I'll give you the contact details of the school also. So Brendan, we have just a question here just regarding if an applicant is on the fence between deciding between an MSc in archaeology or the MSc in experimental archaeology and material culture. I suppose how you would advise, or is there somebody in the school that can advise them as to which program would suit them best?
Yeah, I think a good initial thing to do is to reach out to program coordinators and to have a kind of a chat. They can give you a more detailed understanding of the particulars of each program and kind of gauge your kind of wants from the program as well. But ultimately, I really do mean this when I say it, that we've worked hard to get the structures in such a place that you can't really go wrong with any of them, because if you do an archaeology, if you pick archaeology, you can still dip into experimental archaeology. If you do experimental archaeology, you can still dip into archaeology or world heritage or hunter-gatherers, something like that. So it really allows you to tailor the education experience to your needs, in that, recognizing that, you know, nobody's really hyper focused fixated on one thing. And also we can learn a huge amount by going slightly outside of our frames of interest. And so that's something we worked hard to be able to encourage. Do reach out to the program coordinators or to me directly. You can find the program coordinators on our website for each of the various programs, on the website for each of the various program coordinators for each of the various programs. But also, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because there's more than enough choice.
And then in terms of when an applicant or an application is made, how long do students wait to find out if they've been made an offer on a program, typically from the school? Certainly, if you can maybe distinguish between the EU applicants here.
Yeah. So as Emma was alluding to there, applications come to us through basically two main routes. There'd be EU and Irish applicants or non-EU applicants. The EU-Irish applicants, we generally have very quick turnaround. We're usually looking at somewhere in the region of 2 to 4 weeks. It depends on if all documentation is in and things like that. But we'd have a very quick response rate for EU students. The non-EU students come through a different stream. They come through global stream in UCD. And that just means that there's more kind of more pipe that an application has to go through, and so it takes a little bit longer than that. But you're talking not dissimilar kind of amounts. I would expect everybody to have an answer to an application certainly within kind of 2 months.
Great. And we might just fly through some of these, some brief answers on these. So at what point in the process do students select the elective modules portions of the MSCs?
You register pre week 1. So registry opens, I think it's about 2 weeks before the first day of class, and you register you can register for both your autumn and spring then.
And when an application is being made, is a personal statement required with the application?
Yeah, currently personal statement is part of the application process.
Yeah, perfect. And then in terms of the dissertation, just for the MSc programs, can students choose their area of interest that they have, or how I suppose to best to advise students when they're choosing their dissertation topic?
Yeah. It's a very good question. So there's a number of different routes. I won't go into them all, but essentially what you have is on one of the routes would be you coming from your interest, and that's interest either that you're coming into the program with or interest you develop over the course of the program. And also you'll be interacting a lot with staff, so it's kind of, you know, various different points of inspiration, either through a class or whatever. And another route though is for with projects going the whole time. Actually, Ashley, it's good. She has here, myself and a couple of colleagues and Ashley are working together to look at material from a passage student. So a kind of an already existing research project that's going, and there's a question there. And Ashley's very interested in passage tombs and Neolithic, and so it makes sense to work there. And so it basically, the short answer to this is that our program coordinators will work directly with students, plus in the dissertation module, and in that can tailor various different ways of coming to it, but bringing your own interest is always good.
Can students take modules outside the School of Archaeology? For instance, are there any optional modules, for instance, in the folklore department or with other schools?
Actually, a great question. We at the moment we have very set structures, mostly aimed inside the School of Archaeology, and that's just for planning purposes really. But we are putting in structures for next year, linking into folklore modules as well.
Great. Can you elaborate a little bit about the opportunities for field work in the programs, maybe specifically your area of interest and Ashley's one?
Yeah, so I'll speak to the other programs, and Ashley, if you want to talk about field work, so the within the MSc hunter-gatherer MSc, again it depends year on year, but in the last it didn't run this year, but in the 2 years previous there was field work up in the Cairngorms in Scotland, Scottish Highlands, looking at Mesolithic sites up there, and then post-excavation work from that as well. And then through the archaeology program as well, there are various different opportunities to join in on field work or be part of post-excavation processes linked to that. And through the World Heritage and Archaeology program, there's also an awful lot of site visits and kind of field trip visits aligned with them as well. Ashley, do you want to speak about the experimental?
Yeah, is it about the excavations?
The practical work that you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, were you asking about the field trips or the field work? Sorry. I think I've took a module for next spring. It's 3 weeks, I'm nearly sure. We're going to be doing some field work. I think that's with Aidan O'Sullivan. I'm nearly sure we're going to be doing it here on the experimental and CMAC. Is that right, Brendan?
Yeah. So in that module, one of Ireland's best and well-known archaeologists, field archaeologist, Cathy Moore, comes in and delivers a module, intensive field module, basically training people in the Centre for Experimental Archaeology to culture about specific excavation practices and also what to do with artifacts in the field.
Yeah.
I would advocate for the School of Archaeology, basically because of that exact reason. It's a bespoke program tailored around the individual person. It's not a kind of a one size fits all. People come in. We're interested in you and developing you as a scholar through these various different programs and towards your career. We're genuinely interested in aiming you for where you want to go.